Alright, I just want to make a quick video about some interesting things in the College World Series. I don't even watch the College World Series. I live, about 50 minutes away from Omaha. I just don't watch baseball religiously like some people. I have a lot of friends who watch tons of baseball. That's their favorite sport. They watch tons of baseball. I don't know why I haven't watched the College World Series. I didn't pay attention to it last year or the year before. I think the last time I even went to the College World Series, I was a little kid, and my dad let me go to the bathroom by myself, and there was some dude in there taking a piss with his bare ass hanging out, his pants down to his ankles or whatever. I remember my dad saying something like, "He didn't touch you, did he?" You know, Moral of the story, though, that's my last memory of the College World Series. But today I was told in my comments from my previous video that I should check it out, Just being from Omaha, or speaking of Omaha, I got this comment here that said, "Check out the College World Series this year. How funny, Coastal Carolina's head football coach is the former CEO of TD Ameritrade, and his football team wins the Big South 2012-2004, and now baseball team is playing in the College World Series in Omaha where he used to coach, right? And the College World Series is at TD Ameritrade Park or whatever. So, this guy is the head coach of Coastal Carolina, who's actually in their first College World Series. He used to be the former CEO of TD Ameritrade, and now Coastal Carolina is one game away from being in the championship game at TD Ameritrade Park or Stadium or whatever you want to call it. This head coach also, he used to be the coach of the Omaha Nighthawks. It was like a minor league football team or whatever that played there as well. So, just interesting. They haven't really pointed that out as far as I know. Like I said, I haven't really watched ESPN or the College World Series. But I did watch the game tonight from the 6th inning on, the game of Coastal Carolina versus TCU. But before I even show that, just honestly, think about what is going on. So, I've previously talked about how the Royals won the World Series. They hadn't won the World Series since 1985. And then literally in the college football championship, it was Alabama defeated Clemson with a total score of 85. There were some other 85 references in it. The Super Bowl 50, was completely connected to the 85 Bears Super Bowl XX. The Carolina Panthers coach was even a player on that team and whatnot. Lots of connections to the 85 Bears. Then Villanova beats North Carolina in the basketball tournament, and Villanova hadn't won since 1985. And I talked about Back to the Future. The end of Back to the Future is October 27th, the day that leaves 65 days left until the end of the year. It was Philadelphia's 303rd year as being founded or whatever. This year, it was Philadelphia's 333rd year. I even talked about how in Back to the Future 3, then, Doc Brown goes back to 1885, which is 131 years ago. They even used train number 131 to get back to the future, right? The train 131 pushes the DeLorean to get back to the future. I've talked about all of this English Civil War stuff. If Queen Elizabeth dies, her son Prince Charles will become King Charles III. His name even equals 131. Alabama in gematria equals 13 and 31. And then yesterday we get the UK leaving the EU, right? I've talked about all the Civil War coding. They're even talking about it on ESPN, on CNN, about how Scotland is going to try to get independence again. I even mentioned the 30 Years' War in my last video, the 30 Years' War that involved pretty much all of Europe. And now the UK is leaving the EU, which pretty much involves all of Europe. It involves, the whole world as well. But, the EU was 28 countries in Europe. it's not necessarily a civil war, but, it's along the same lines. They're recreating history. It's completely obvious. But, so anyway, whatever. It connects to Back to the Future with the 85. Back to the Future ends in 1985, which was Queen Elizabeth's 33rd year as queen. The highest degree in Scottish Rite Freemasonry. 33 is just a number around sacrifice, a number around a whole lot of things. It's a super important number to the Freemasons. But even if you take away the Back to the Future stuff, look at some of this stuff. So Clemson loses the football championship. Clemson is from South Carolina, right? Clemson and South Carolina. Then we get the Super Bowl where the Carolina Panthers lose. Then we get the basketball championship where North Carolina loses. Then the NBA Finals, Stephen Curry from Charlotte, North Carolina, right? His dad, Del Curry, famous for being the Charlotte Hornet and whatnot. Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets. And if you recall, Harrison Barnes, who did terrible in the NBA Finals this year, he played better after his birthday, the one game at Oklahoma City Thunder, but in the finals he was awful. He was from North Carolina. They even put in James McAdoo, right? For whatever the reason, they put this guy in, and everyone says, why would they put him in? That's weird. He plays in his first NBA Finals. It wasn't a big impact. I made a whole video on this even, his birthday being January 4th and how it ties into 9/23 and also the Cleveland Cavaliers. But this guy also played college basketball at North Carolina. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the Cavalier is a follower of King Charles during the English Civil War. And also just Carolina in general. The Carolinas are named after King Charles. That's how they got their name. It was the Latin for Carolus, or Carolina, in honor of King Charles I of England, the guy who gets assassinated during the English Civil War. It's so obvious. I mean, seriously, I cannot believe I've been posting this stuff on Facebook. All my friends, my family, they think I'm a fucking crazy retard. And it's like, how much more obvious can it get? I've been telling you this for a year, and then now the UK leaves the EU. But you know what? Half of them don't even know what the EU even is, or they don't even know what the UK is, And I don't know everything about it. I don't know everything about everything, but I know enough to see through the bullshit. And I don't even mean to cuss on here, I've been trying really hard. I've been making videos for a while. I'm trying not to cuss, but it gets frustrating when everyone around you thinks you're just a fucktard, and they're the ones who have no clue what is going on. So, no big deal. I'm sorry for ranting. It just, man, I get so many, or not a ton of comments, but I get comments from people that I care about and love, and they just don't get it. And you're like, what? How do you not get it? They tell you stuff like, you have too much time on your hands. No, you don't have enough time on your hands. You don't get it because you go to work for 50, 60 hours a week, and you don't take the time to even actually analyze what is really going on. You just sit there and accept it. And it sucks, I hate seeing people I love just going with the flow and falling even more behind in the system and just not understanding it. Anyway, so we get all this Carolina stuff. Now we have Coastal Carolina. They're in their first College World Series ever. This university founded in 1954 in gematria. Coastal Carolina equals 54. They're even the Chanticleers, named after Geoffrey Chaucer, that equals 54. Omaha, Omaha, Nebraska, right? Where the College World Series is. Look at Omaha. Omaha even founded 1854. The word baseball. Baseball in gematria also equals 54. If you write out the word 54 even, 54 also even equals 54. I mean, I don't know the complete significance of 54, but it's obvious 54, a good number. Also, if you go and look here, so this game ended, the score was 4-1, and the interesting thing in this game was that this guy, Andrew Beckwith, he pitched his back-to-back complete game, right? He pitched the whole game. The last game that he pitched the whole game. Now his record's 14-1, right? A lot like the Mirrors, 41 and 14. If you write out the word 14, it even equals 41. Then he wins this game 4-1. If they win tomorrow night, they'll win. Their record will even be 4-1. And interesting, on ESPN, they don't have it as Coastal Carolina like it's supposed to be. They write Coast Carolina. Look at Coast Carolina in gematria. 131, just like Prince Charles. All the 41 stuff, the word king equals 41. Even their coach. Their coach tonight, I don't have a picture of it. If you go watch the game, he was wearing number 14. It also says that he's qualified for 14 NCAA tournaments, most recently 2016, where the team made its first appearance in the College World Series. And I'm not sure if I even said it, but this guy, the kid who was pitching here, Andrew Beckwith, you can't click on it. He also wears number 41, right? 41 wins 4-1, now he's 14-1. And I mean, even look at the word baseball. So that guy became 14-1 now. The word baseball in Jewish gematria, 141. So let's look at this guy's name really quick. Actually, you know what I never showed? Omaha. Omaha is located on 41 degrees north even. So it's super fitting. Anyway, this pitcher, his name Andrew Beckwith, in gematria equals 146 and 65, just like United Kingdom, 146-65. If Queen Elizabeth dies, Prince Charles will become King Charles III, but Prince Charles is also the Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales, 146-65. The word prince equals 65 the big way. It equals 38 the small way, just like Omaha. Also, in regards to Prince, a lot of things have seemed to be connected to Prince the singer's death. If you go from the day that he died, which was also Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday, to tomorrow, a span of 65 days, tomorrow will be the deciding game if Coastal Carolina or TCU goes into the championship game. They're either going to play Arizona or they're going to play Oklahoma City. Look at Oklahoma City in gematria. Or Oklahoma State, my bad. Oklahoma State in gematria, 141, just like that dude's record. So, if I had to guess, I would think Oklahoma State versus Coastal Carolina in the championship, but I've also seen where teams fit the numbers and they don't win, so who knows, King equals 41. It's a complete tribute to what's going to be the new king of the UK or the king of England, whether they win or lose, just like how LeBron got back-to-back 41-point games and him and Kyrie Irving both got 41-point games. But Golden State equals 41, and they still lost, So I don't want to make a prediction, but in my head, that's what you think it would be. But I also just have not looked enough into the other teams. I just want to leave it on one last thing. European Union, if I can spell it right, equals 168, just like Queen Elizabeth. The second, just like Cleveland Cavaliers, just like New York City. And they're obviously using sports to code all of this. Just wanted to show the connection. Have a good one.